Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I am Sonia, also known as SG from Let the Lady Speak podcast, where we discuss life, love, dating, and relationships. I also promote healing and self-love. Today, we're going to talk about what we can learn from Miss Alexis Fly from Ready to Love Season 4. But before we get started, I just want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. If you enjoy the content, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I also will leave the podcast link to my podcast below in the description box. So let's get started. Alexis happened to be one of our most interesting characters on Ready to Love this season, and there's a lot we can learn from her. Now, I'm a registered nurse and I have a background. I was a nurse educator and I have also worked in leadership, and in those roles you learn when you're educating people or when you're giving feedback, you always talk about what's good first, right? You compliment the person, you let them know, because you don't want to feel like a person is being browbeat or like they don't do anything right. So you always want to offer it with a little balance. So with Miss Alexa, this is where I'm going to start. And it's not that I think she's a bad person. A lot of us women have made the same mistakes that she's made. This is why I chose to review the show. It really does mirror how we all operate in the dating realm, right? Number one, the one thing I like about Alexis is that and that we can learn from her is that she never backed down from a difficult conversation. We saw that with Troy, we saw that with AJ, and we saw that with Ron. Now, the only person that I feel like she should have had a conversation probably one-on-one with was Amber, but I still give her credit for having that conversation. So Alexis never backed down from a difficult conversation with anyone, right? And, she did so in a manner, for the most part, that was respectful. Again, I didn't like how she handled the Amber situation, but I just think with everything, that was her reaction. I'm not sure. But she tries to have the conversation with care. And she talked about this on one of the episodes that, unfortunately, one of the clips, unfortunately, that wasn't included in the episode when they went to the ice skating ring. She talked about how she tries to handle men with respect and care. And she really did when she had conversations with them. So I'm going to give her credit for that. Number two, Alexis is really good at her individuality. Now, we may not all agree with Mr. Fly's fly, right? I personally didn't see an outfit that I was like, okay, but we all have different tastes, right? Alexis she stuck to her own style. There was not a trend. She stood on her own. This is me. This is what I wear. This is how I show up. And I appreciate that about a person. I appreciate individuality. I don't like that nowadays everybody looks alike. Everybody wears their hair the same, nails the same, everybody's body's the same. Like, I miss the days where you can get inspiration by seeing the creativity of other people. Excuse me. Like, you can see the creativity of other people. So she definitely had her own style. She owned her own style, and Lexus was Lexus. Now, let's talk about some other things that we can learn from Miss Alexis. Another thing that we can learn from Alexis is that she is going to communicate her feelings. You are going to know what she's feeling and what she's thinking and what she likes and what she doesn't like, right? Now, how and when may be a different conversation, but a lot of people aren't able to express themselves and say where they stand. And she would go out on a limb and show her vulnerability, right? Now, I'm going to talk about later how sometimes you can't give too much too soon. But if Alexis knew that it was a safe space, I think if she was to do these things in a safe space and at the right time, I really think it's a great idea that she's able to communicate and to speak her mind and her feelings. And again, she's not loud, she's not aggressive, she's not abrasive, she's not rude, she's not nasty, she's not mean. She's just going to let you know where she's coming from. So those are things that I really do appreciate about Alexis, and I think we can learn from her. Now, some of the don'ts from Miss Jones. Number one, don't give too much too soon. Allow a man to earn you. Men respect what they earn. With AJ, she let him know right away what all he can get and who all he can be in her life without really knowing him, without knowing what he brought to the table, without him doing anything to earn that from you. And so I always offer this perspective when people try to give up too much information, because they like to say, but this is who I am and I'm just being real. Okay, I understand, but here's the thing. What has that person done to have that kind of access to you? What have they done to have that kind of access to your heart, to your thoughts, to your feelings? They don't deserve it yet. Wait till they deserve it. Wait till they earn it. It's okay to do it. It's a great thing to do it, right? But timing is everything. So don't give too much too soon of anything. Make sure they've earned that. Men respect what they earn. Number two, don't sell yourself. Alexis will constantly sell herself. I'm a bag of chips. I'm this and I'm that. And listen, who you are and what you are is silent. You ever, Liz, for example, you saw how Liz walked through the door and everybody was just like, oh, you see how Liz operated, dictated how people treated her, right? She didn't have to say anything. Jason was carrying those bags and the whole 9 yards. You don't have to sell yourself. Carry yourself in the manner in which the person you are, and people will know for sure who you are, and they will treat you accordingly. And if they test you and you correct them, they know moving forward that this is what this person requires, right? So you don't have to sell yourself. What's understood is known. Don't fantasize about a relationship. Miss Fly had a really bad habit of doing that, especially like with AJ, when AJ told her, for example, the one time, oh, well, be with me right now and know that I'm intentional. Like he was talking about right now in that minute. And that to her meant something different. Despite all of his other actions show that he wasn't really interested. He wasn't really to be trusted. He was pursuing someone else, and he actually had more interest in that person than you. He didn't have a lot of respect for you, so he constantly let her know where he was. And it's just like, Alexis, no, you don't fantasize. You guys are where you are. I know a lot of individuals do that when they're dating. If a person says a little thing or give a little thing, then they're like, oh my God, this person loves me. We're going to be this. And all of a sudden you got married and things like that. Like Vernisha did that. No, don't fantasize it. It is what it is at that time until you guys agree that you're moving to another level and you see that behavior in that person. So if they say they are committed to you, are they acting as though they are committed to you? Are they treating your relationship like a commitment ship? That's the key. Don't fantasize the relationship. You'll get your heart broken that way. Okay. So the next thing we can learn from Alexis Fly is allow a man to pursue you. Alexis was always telling somebody and reminding them that I'm your number one. Who's your number one? I'm your number one, right? Sit back and allow them to pursue you. Jason talked about this. Liz put herself in a place, in a space where she can be pursued. Don't try to control the narrative. Don't try to be the man. Here's the thing. A lot of women say they want a masculine man, they want an alpha man, but they operate out of alpha energy. Alpha men they're not usually attracted to alpha women. Now, it's fine if you're alpha in your workplace, right? But when it comes down to the dance between a man and a woman, only one person can lead. If you keep trying to take the lead, he's not going to want to do that dance because he feels like I'm the man and I'm going to lead, right? So that's not attractive to him. And it's funny because when I was looking back over the videos to redo this recording, there was one where AJ said, Alexis, because that's when she was flirting, and I'll get to that later, heavy, and she had all the sexual innuendos. And he said, I'm looking for more. Like, okay, looks, I'm attracted to her. Looks are everything, but I'm looking for more. And if you don't allow this man to go through this journey and to earn you, and you're pursuing him, then you switch the dynamics of the relationship and you're not going to get what you're looking for out of it. Set strong boundaries. Alexis had an issue with boundaries because she wanted so badly to be chosen, right? And That's with, you saw it a little bit with Troy with all the kissing. You saw with AJ with, just he can come and go as he please. Like once AJ showed you he wasn't interested in you, that should have been it, right? But no, no, she couldn't do that. So you have to set strong boundaries. Boundaries dictate how people are allowed to treat you. And trust me, the people that don't want to abide by the boundaries of your life or in a relationship with you are people you probably shouldn't be in a relationship with. They probably are not healthy for you, right? So we can learn that it's important to set strong boundaries. Next, we can learn from Miss Fly that don't lead what you don't want. On the first episode or the intro, Alexis said that when men see her, they see SEX, right? When I did that review, I said, I wonder why men see her like that. Because here's the thing, your first impression dictates how people treat you usually. Now, there are some people that play by no rules, right? But again, that's where correction comes in and what you allow. So with Alexis, sorry, it's like, you led with sex. When AJ and her were at the candle shop, she took her jacket off. She turned around so he can see her body, and it was a whole lot of sexual innuendos. She was basically letting him know he can get it. Same thing with Ron. And she's a very sexual woman. There isn't anything wrong with that. I promote it. I believe everyone should be having great sex as having sex, and I believe a woman should be very comfortable in her sexuality and allow herself to have a very healthy sexual relationship. But that comes, again, it's time and place, right? It's too early. It's too soon. And if you're talking about sex constantly, if you are constantly pushing your body and your sex onto someone, then that's what you're saying you feel like you're worth, and that's what you're saying you feel like you have to offer. If you want somebody to see you for more than that, don't lead with it. So what you lead with is what people are picking up on. Next up, we can learn is to always respect and honor yourself. Prime example is when Alexis let AJ, when she waited for AJ for 2 hours, like basically what AJ did to her throughout the whole time. He constantly let her know that he wasn't choosing her, but she kept pursuing him. And any crumb that he gave, she felt like it was a whole cake, right? And in that, she wasn't respecting and honoring herself. When she waited for him for 2 hours to come and talk to her at this party versus requiring that he set up a date with her if he really wanted to spend time with her, she wasn't respecting and honoring herself. And in that, you allow people to feel like it's okay to disrespect you. And so what did Ron eventually end up doing? He ended up speaking to her in a disrespectful manner because he was like, I thought you was smarter than that. And I actually ended up going back and watching some lives. I didn't watch everyone lives. I didn't watch Alexis lives because I didn't want to, but I watched Ron's live, and his stories have been consistent, and he pointed out a few things. I don't want to make this video long, so I'm not going to go into it, but at the end of the day, how you treat yourself, respect yourself, and honor yourself says to other people, this is my standard. And we can learn that from Alexis, that is something that it needs to be done. Number 9, don't compete with other women. One thing that really, really bothered me that Alexis did was compete with other women, and she put them down and she belittled them and she threw daggers at them to say she is, a better pick. Listen, you can be the perfect woman, but you may not be perfect for that man, or it may be the wrong time, So no, that's what I want to say. Don't compete with another woman. You don't have to disrespect another woman. You don't have to tear down another woman. Stand in your own greatness. And if that man says that you're the right one for him, he will pursue you. Okay? Lastly, check yourself. Always check yourself. Check in with yourself. Sometimes it's not the other people. A lot of times Alexis was trying to make it seem like all these problems were other people. What are you doing? What are you putting out there? What are you allowing? You always got to check with yourself. And then I also put here, make sure you date your interests, right? We had that whole situation where Ron and the religious talk or, spirituality conversation. If you knew that this was something that was important to you and you didn't feel like he had or was important to him, then that should have been indicated there, like, hey, that's a deal breaker for me, I can't move forward. But that's not what she did. And again, we never saw her have that requirement of AJ. So really, is that true? You say you want to get married and you want to be serious, but you're acting differently. Like, date date your true interests, right? Seek out what you're really interested in. That's why it's important to know who you are and what it is that you want. And that's my last point. Know what you want. Know what you want. Know who you are. Know your non-negotiables. You can be flexible. You learn about yourself when you're in a dating process. So you take the opportunity to learn and get to know yourself. But at the same time, what you already know and where you are has to be established before you get out here in this dating pool, because you're going to get people like the guy that I just talked about, Sean, and put a ring on it. He's like, we're going to go with the flow. Anytime a guy's just like, we're going to go with the flow and see where it's going, it's not going anywhere. He has no intention. So if he isn't intentional and you're looking to be married or to settle down or something solid and stable, that person may not be the right person for you. Okay. I want to thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, share, and subscribe if you do. Comment below on your thoughts and what you think we could have learned from Alexis. Also, I want to give a shout out to Blue Nola Terror. She always supports me. She's awesome. If you are looking for someone to do a tarot read, please check her out. If you are not into tarot, I understand. I completely understand. No judgment here. But check her out. She's a great person. Just check out her channel. She does a lot of fun things with celebrities and things like that. She's awesome. Anyway, I want to thank you guys. Please take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Love you for who you are. Thanks for letting me speak. I'll see you next week.